Hi, everybody. I am going to talk today about the holidays and about how they can be a very separating experience, but they don't have to be, and how that applies to relationships. Wouldn't it be awesome if everybody could enjoy the Christmas holiday, whether you're Christian or Jewish or Muslim or anything else, or atheists or whatever? Wouldn't that be awesome? And it's just the same principles of oneness that we can have in our relationships as well. Wouldn't it be awesome if we did not separate from one another because he snores or she cusses or he smokes cigarettes or whatever it is? Wouldn't it be really awesome if we could stop separating over these perceived differences and we could start seeing each other as very much the same? Whether it's about religion, race, habits, belief systems, whatever it is, wouldn't that be amazing? We would truly have peace on earth then. Same thing applies to Republicans and Democrats. Things are so contentious nowadays, and yet they don't have to be. Even between ardent Republicans and ardent Democrats, or progressives and conservatives, we don't have to separate over those things. We can look for the things that are similar. And that's what I want to talk about today, is looking for the things that are similar. And it just came up to me over and over again about the Christmas holiday, because if you're not Christian, sometimes people feel weird around Christmas and they don't know whether they should celebrate it or not celebrate it, or are they being phony or whatever. And my thinking about it is, the birth of Jesus represented a great deal of hope and optimism for the world. That's the story that we hear, is that, it represented hope and optimism. And don't we all need to connect to hope and optimism? Whether we're Christian or not, can we get over that label and just allow ourselves to connect to the hope and optimism that Christmas represents? I'm Helen Hillix. I'm an intuitive counselor and spiritual coach. And I'm here today to talk about looking for similarities instead of differences. The same thing between Republicans and Democrats. Don't we all want a safe world where our children can be raised with good jobs and good educations and feel safe? We all want the same things. And it's the same thing whether we're celebrating Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa. We're all looking to celebrate our heritage. We're looking to celebrate an occasion, whether it's the first time Muhammad received, words in the Quran, or whether we're celebrating African American culture in the United States. Whatever the celebration is, we are all that. If we look for the connections rather than the separations, we are all that, and we can all celebrate all those holidays, or we can at least appreciate why they're being celebrated. We don't have to have these negative thoughts about one another. And it's the same thing, whether my husband likes to do things slowly and meticulously, and I'm the kind of rushing through things person. We don't have to judge one another. We don't have to look for the differences. We can look for the similarities. And whether we're talking about relationships between a man and a wife, or between father and son, or sisters, boss and employee, whatever they are, it doesn't matter. If you look for the similarities, if you realize that everybody is wanting the same thing, needing the same thing, then we can have peace, whether it's within those smaller relationships or it's in the world at large. We can have a peaceful experience. And only then, only when we recognize our oneness. And that's what we're really talking about, isn't it? We're talking about our oneness, how we are all part and parcel of the same universe, the same experience, whether you think of it as we're all children of God, or whether you think of it as we are all made up of the same stuff, the same chi energy that the whole universe is made up of. However you conceptualize it, we are all one. And we have to stop treating each other as if we're different, and stop judging and separating from one another. We get to have a peaceful life in which we all recognize each other's humanity and we love each other. When we do, when we can overcome all those artificial separations of sex or race or religion or any kind of background, when we can overcome those artificial differences, and I want to emphasize artificial because they are artificial. They're not inherent to us. We are all the same. We are all looking for love and validation and safety. When we can overcome those artificial differences, we can have a very happy life where we feel connected and safe. And we can create a world that is just like that. That's a reflection of how we're treating each other in our small families or connected relationships. So I'm here today to challenge us all to look around and see who you can connect to today, to see what person you're having judgments about, and turn that around, shift that by saying, I get to see the similarities with this person. I don't care how angry you are, I want you to see the similarities and see if that does not shift your energy into saying, yeah, I guess I'm like that too. And it reminds me of a tool that I will talk about on a different video. But for today, that's the message, is to look at what's happening in the world at this Christmas holiday and see if you can shift your energy and open your hearts and allow the love to flow through and allow the differences, all those artificial differences, to dissolve. Just let them dissolve and focus on the love that Christ consciousness represents, that Christ consciousness taught. Whether you're Christian or you're not Christian, you know, and I may be angering some people here because to me, it doesn't make any difference. We are all the same. We are all created equal. We are all part of this whole oneness that wants to connect, that needs to connect, that thrives on connecting. So I challenge you during this holiday season, whether it's thinking about other religions and how you might honor them and how they might honor you, or you're thinking about getting along with your mother-in-law on Christmas Day when you think you can't stand her, I want you to go and think about how you're like her and see if you can overcome all those artificial separations and have this end of this year be one of unity and harmony and loving thoughts, and have us conclude 2018 with a feeling that we are coming together, and that we are making an effort to come together and heal. And then we can start 2019 with a whole new attitude. So again, I'm Helen Hillix, intuitive counselor and spiritual coach. And this is my musing for the day about dissolving all those artificial barriers, whether it's between Christians and Jews and any other religion, or between race, gender, whatever it is, to dissolve those artificial separations and let this holiday season represent joy and hope. And that's what I think of when I think of the birth of Jesus. Is I think of that represents the joy and hope of the future. So think about it, practice it, and see if it doesn't bring you a sense of joy and love and peace too. From my heart to yours, Helen Hillix, intuitive counselor and spiritual coach. I love you, wishing you a wonderful day.